my son could have been Trayvon. And people on the right saw that as like, well, but that's not true. You are an upper class black man who is living in the White House. And unless your son was mistaken for a prowler going around at night in a neighborhood, then no, that actually wouldn't happen.
I kind of feel like that sentence is self-refuting. Right? Like Ben Shapiro on the one hand is like, I'm mad because Obama mentioned that Trayvon could have been his son. And the next breath is like, well, he couldn't have been your son because your son wouldn't have been mistaken for a prowler skulking around the neighborhood. And I was like, I want to do the that's racist meme. I'm like, why was Trayvon mistaken for a prowler? Like, he wouldn't have been mistaken for a prowler if he was Ben Shapiro's son. I don't believe. To me, I'm very unsatisfied by the fact that our rancor was driven by like a stray comment that Barack Obama made out of a place of human empathy and the fact that he had to have a beer summit with a cop and a professor. Like that feels so quaint compared to where we are, and too quaint to accept. Barack Obama was human. We're humans listening to it. Everybody in a partisan place is humans. We can all look. Let's not be crazy about all this. Like Ben Shapiro responds more emotionally to anti-Semitic crimes. He just does. That's fine. I've had many people telling me in my response in my comments that I've been too emotional in response to Charlie Kirk's death because he's also a podcaster and I could vision myself getting assassinated. That's true. I was much more responsive to the issue of the gay hairstylist from Venezuela that we sent to a gulag because he was gay, and I could imagine as a gay man what that would have been like. Like, that's just human. We relate to people that we have connection with. It could be about race or religion or life experience. If somebody's from Denver, I probably would have a little bit more of an emotional reaction to their tragedy than if they were from Chicago. It was a throwaway line, and Barack Obama barely talked about his race, like in the grand scheme of things. He talked about it a lot less than his advisors wanted him to. And I look back at that and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, Ben Shapiro, I think it was you actually that is to blame. I don't think it was Barack Obama's beer summit with Henry Louis Gates. And I don't mean Ben Shapiro in particular, but like him and his ilk. And I that's just kind of how, and I was a Republican at the time. And so I'm indicting myself, but I just like look back on it. It's hard for me to see it another way. I mean, I think that in the post-Obama era, I think that there's some legitimate complaints about, the forefronting of racial identity to a degree that was maybe unhelpful during the awakening. That is a critique that I both will listen to and not entirely, but agree with in large part. But I think the Obama critique is just this post hoc rationalization for fucking right-wing racism is really what I think it is.